Hello all, sorry about that. Looks like the Screencast-O-Matic has the same shortcut key to stop recording as I want to use for Excel. Well, we're gonna have to use our mouse on some of these shortcuts, but I'll still explain it. Unfortunately, can't use the shortcut keys with Screencast-O-Matic to record the current screen. Okay, we're working on auto filter. I've highlighted the entire row that I want auto filter. I wanted to use Alt D F will get you auto filter without unless there's another program that uses it. Currently it does. But there's another way to do it. It's Control Alt L. Oh, sorry. Let's see. Control Alt L. I'm not in the Excel spreadsheet right now. Actually, it's Shift Control L. No wonder it didn't work. Sorry about that. Shift Control L. Get you the auto filter. So with this, there's lots of things to do with it. Lots of ways to look at it, actually. Uh, let's see. You want to look for tuition that's greater than $30,000. So what you can do, how I just did that was I'm holding down Alt and I'm pressing down. Gets me this pull down menu. Uh, I did say let's go ahead and look at it if it's greater than 30,000. So what I'm doing is navigating using my arrow keys, going down, right, greater than or equal to, I'm pressing enter, greater than or equal to 30,000, right? There you go. All items greater than 30,000. Uh, let's see. If we want to get the filter off, we could go Alt down and then go in here and actually it's Alt down. Oh, sorry. Undo. Oh, the filter went away. But it was Alt down. Well, you can go Alt. Oh, sorry about that. Alt down equals, and it would be a space bar. But we'll cover that in a little bit. But you could filter it all, different ways. Uh, let's see. You could say California schools only. So you unselect all, and then you press spacebar to check it. Put a check mark next to it and press enter. So all California schools, and you have your data. But the format is not as pretty, right? You could go about making it prettier by formatting this entire table, which is very possible. However, however, uh, I like to create pivot tables. And so I'm going to the end by using Control right arrow, Shift Control left arrow. I'm holding down Shift and Control still. Uh, Using down arrow, I highlight the entire cell. At this point, I would use the shortcut, but the Alt D I can't use right now because of the recording. So the way you create a pivot table is Alt D P. So you hold down Alt, you press D at the same time, you let everything go and press P. But without that, without the shortcut, I would have to use my mouse. So I go into data. Let's see where the pivot table are. I'm not familiar enough with Excel 2007 to find out where the pivot tables are. So I found where the pivot tables are. It's insert pivot tables. Like I said, the keyboard shortcut would be Alt D P without the other program running. Okay, so I want to create a pivot table. It says select the table or range. Well, I already highlighted it, so I'm ready to go. In a new worksheet, yes. I say okay. So here's my pivot table. You could go into weeks and weeks of really understanding pivot tables and how they works, but uh, it's considered a cube format. You could learn you could research it, but it gets pretty in depth. As of now, if you just follow my instructions or my screen. So if you just follow what's on the screen for now, and we'll discuss it in class. Uh, let's see. This is our state. So I want to put it up here. Uh, I like my unique identifier on the row label, my institution name, uh, my math, my verbal, my verbal, my math, my writing, and then end state. Alright, we're gonna have to clean all this stuff up, but do you see what I just did? I clicked this tab, value sum, we'll put a number. So we're gonna do the same thing for all of these. Sum, number format, and then I'm going down here. Okay, all of that's done. I don't know why this is here. Oh, undo. Oh no. We needed that information, but we could always clean that up. Let's see, close out of this. I do need information here, but this seems to be, I don't like this format, so I right click in it. Uh, Field settings, layout, it is in tabular form. Let's see, I don't like the totals here. Right click, pivot. Let's see. Alright, so we need to go inside each one of these headers and say, I don't want any subtotals. As you can see, the subtotals are going away. Well, with pivot tables, it could get a little hairy in terms of format. However, once you get into the format that you want, the data could change pretty easily. Alright, so pretty much that's what I wanted. And now I need the data in here. So I right click, show field list, and we're going to have to do this again in terms of bringing this data in. Alright, so I have in-state tuition. I want to sum that because I don't want to count it. As you can see, I'm going to be doing the same thing. Field settings, sum, format, and with pivot tables, you don't play around with it too much that you use shortcuts, but you can. I just feel more comfortable, and I just think it's quicker with pivot tables to use my mouse. However, everything else, when I'm navigating around Excel, as you can see previously, using the mouse is slower than keyboard shortcuts. All right, so that should be good. We go back here, we close out of this, and we have our numbers. Uh, we could always clean this up by saying, let's see, with field settings, actually, it's pivot table options. Preserve cell formatting updates. We say no. Autofit columns, no. That means the pivot table format won't change because we're going to go ahead and change the pivot table format a little bit, such as these columns. I want it a little wider, so I highlight them and then double click. Or what I just did was Shift, Control, Spacebar highlights the entire column, Shift, right arrow 3 times, and then it should be the same, but Alt-IE, oh, sorry. That would be Alt-H, which is home, O format, and then autofit would be I. That's one way to do it. However, sometimes I do like highlighting columns with my keyboard and using my mouse. You could always rename these items, but you can't rename it exactly the same. So if I want to name this in-state undergrad, it wouldn't let me. So I would say in-state undergrad. An easy way to go about this is put a underscore in between the two words. A little arduous and long compared to how we did everything else, but still works, right? And then if you want to do the same thing, Alt H O I, it autofits. Remember what we learned before about freeze framing? So we want to get to a cell that we want to freeze frame. Alt W F F, freeze frames, right? So what I just did was went to column B, control down, and here's your data. So if you want to look for just California schools, you put Alt, arrow down, California schools, and you press enter. These are all California schools, probably the most applicable amongst the group. And what I showed you guys before was a little prettier, but it's just formatting at a certain point. So we have all the California schools that most likely you guys would be interested in, which is Cal State system and the UC system. As you can see, I don't think Cal States are requiring writing samples or writing SATs. As you can see, here's Berkeley with all their SAT scores, and then there's their tuition. Out-of-state tuition is enormous compared to in-state. And then there's UCLA, and so on. And you could search this and clean it up, and we could always talk about it. But that's it, folks. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon.